Okay, so we have a tree diagram now which shows 5 outcomes possible for the first person to walk up, only 4 outcomes possible for the second person, and only 3 outcomes left for the third person. So every person has one less possibility than the person before them because somebody already took one of the options out and kept it. So it says on the first draw, is each of the 5 spheres equally likely? And we would say yes, they're all of equal size, and there was the same amount of each number. So there was 1 ping pong ball with a 1, 1 ping pong ball with a 2, 1 ping pong ball with a 3, 1 ping pong ball with a 4, and 1 ping pong ball with a 5. I was equally likely to get any of those 5 outcomes if I'm the first person to go up. So this would be 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, and 1/5. They're equal in size, which is really important. We said yesterday on the die that all of the sides had to weigh the same. So the same way, the spheres would all have to be the same size. You couldn't have a golf ball and a ping pong ball and a foosball and a baseball and a soccer ball. They wouldn't be equally likely because there would be such a size difference. If person 1 draws the number 5 sphere, what is the outcome? Well, if person 1 draws the number 5, sorry, they don't win anything. So the outcome would be no prize. No prize. What was the theoretical probability of winning no prize? So in theory, if I was the first person to go, how many of the outcomes resulted in no prize? 2 out of 5. So I had a 2 out of 5 chance that I wasn't going to get anything. Now that the number 5 sphere has been drawn, what's the probability of person number 2 winning? So the number 5 sphere would be gone. Number 2, this is a winner, this is a winner, and this is a winner. So they have a 3 out of 4 chance of winning. 3 out of the 4 balls that are still in the container are winners. So if you're person number 2, you'd be really excited if person number 1 pulled out one of those sorries. Given the situation, is the second person's chance of winning a prize better, equal, or worse than it would have been for the first person? Well, their chances actually got better. They went up to being a 3/4 chance of winning instead of the person who only had a 3/5 chance of winning. So it got better. Suppose person 1 draws number 5, person 2 draws number 3, and person 3 draws ball number 1. What was person number 3's probability of winning? Okay, so let's say we've got the box and it's got a 5, 4, 3, a 2, and a 1. Person 1 draws the 5. Person 2 draws the 3. What's the chances that number 3 was going to win something, the third person to walk up? So this was a winner and this was a winner. So there were still 2 winning ping pong balls left out of the 3 that were in the container. What was the experimental probability of person 1 winning? Well, based on the experiment, person 1 drew a 5. They did not win, so they had a 0 out of 1. They were person 1. They won 0 times out of 1 draw. So their experimental probability of winning was 0. It was not impossible. They could have won. They happened to not win. So we're not going to write impossible there because based on the experiment, they happened to not win, but it wasn't impossible to win. And what was the theoretical probability of person 1 winning? In theory, person 1 could have won if they had pulled out a 1, a 2, or a 3. So theoretically, they had a 3 out of 5 chance of winning, and they just happened not to. So 3 out of 5 chance was their theoretical, but when they actually performed the experiment, they won 0 times out of their 1 chance. So I can fill this back in so it's a little darker. No prize was the result or the outcome of pulling out that number 5. So sometimes your chances get better and sometimes they get worse. If the first person had pulled out the $100 prize, no one else can win it. Nobody wants to go after the person who pulled out the 100. So being dependent isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It just means that if you're not the first person in line, you're sitting there crossing your fingers that the person in front of you doesn't get the really great prize.